Hi, I'm Alexandra Whittier Sharon, the CEO and President of Empress Royalty. Empress Royalty is a new precious metals royalty and streaming creation company. We currently have a portfolio of 17 investments, and we're looking to continue to build our investment portfolio, creating a diversified portfolio of gold and silver investments. And I'm joined here by David Rhodes, who is our executive chairman of Empress Royalty and also on the investment committee.
Fantastic. Alexandra, lovely to see you again. And David, lovely to meet you. Alexandra, we spoke back in March. You were the new kid on the block back then. I'm not sure you can call yourself new anymore, can you? You've been out of this.
I think we're still new. We're
still new. Okay. Well, let's go with that. Look, when we've kind of been looking through the press releases since we last met you. You've got 3 transactions over the line. So to add to the 13. Is that right? You had 13 when we spoke?
Yeah, we had 13 exploration royalties.
Right.
We had 1 royalty in a development stage project, and we've since brought in the Talavera silver stream, the Manica gold royalty, and now the producing asset, which is Sierra Antapite gold project in Peru.
Okay, excellent. Now, I want to talk about those individually, but I've got to deal with something with regards to your latest press release. Feedback, really negative. That deal sucked. According to the market. Do you agree with them? Could you have done a better deal?
Yeah, shall I take that, Alex, as the investment manager, if you don't mind? So I can see people looking at it saying 11% interest rate, it looks a bit toppy, the wants and that. Not the case with our strategy. This investment, Sierra Antapite, is a top quality investment for us. The returns obviously are in excess of 17% IRRs, as you can see. We've got on our, and obviously with our modeling, extended mine lives, we've got a substantial investment there. So, from this 11%, we're making a lot more return for the company from that. So I think, we went out to the market. This transaction with Ascenda Banco was the best we could find. And obviously, as I say, it's going into an even better returning investment in Sierra Antapite.
Well, let's break that down for me. Can you say it's a good deal considering our strategy? So let's define what our strategy is, first of all, and then I want to dig into some of those numbers.
Yeah, sure. So simple and, SaaS strategy, but which is investing in new streaming and royalty investments. So we're creating them. So we are getting close to the companies. We're negotiating the agreements. We're getting the good returns because we are, in front of them, able to understand their business model. And Sierra Antapite and its parent company have got a lot of other opportunities, other mines we're interested in. So this is a wider play with this group, and that's why we're obviously, very excited to be involved with them, not only with the initial investment with Sierra Antapite, but the larger opportunities this group.
Okay, so again, I think it's really important we get the definitions clear, because using phrases that people new to story may not understand. This group, because obviously, there are a few parties to each of these deals. Can you just remind people who they are and what they do?
So the group we're talking to that own the asset is called Sun, and the Sun Group are the parties that obviously own the asset and we're negotiating with, and they have other opportunities which are very attractive to us.
Okay, fine. I was actually kind of getting to actually referring to the point that Endeavour are involved in some of the projects that you work with, and there are other people who are part of the kind of collective, the way that you put your funds together. So obviously Empress plays a part, but so do other players. So that's what it's referring to. I don't know if that's maybe one for you, Alexandra.
Yeah. So we have 3 strategic partners. Obviously, we've got the Empress team. We have Endeavour Financial, we have Terra Capital in Australia, and Ascenda Banco in Mexico. So all 3 partners, management and board, we own 38% of the company. So very much in line with shareholders to see the company grow. Endeavour Financial, David's here, and we'll maybe just touch base. We have a bit of a background on Endeavour, and then I can touch base on the other 2.
Okay, fine. Why don't we do that?
Yeah, so on the Endeavour Financial side, obviously 30 years in the business, junior mid-tier sector, and we are the investment manager, founding fathers of Empress. We saw this 3 years ago. We saw the market having all the major streaming companies getting large. The smaller players weren't in the marketplace, and that's why we set up Empress. And that's really where the vision came, looking at the sub $50 million streams, because the larger guys got too big. And we are not looking to buy, we're looking to create new streams. And that's all the business is about, investing and creating.
Okay, so that's the important bit about the difference in the strategy and the business model. And sorry, I'll let you, Alexandra, just talk about the other two, like Ascendo Bank, etc.
Yeah, Terra is run by Jeremy Bond out of Australia, a boutique investment fund in the specific mining industry, gives us access to Australian-listed projects, internationally Australian projects, as well as he's been an active investor in the Canadian natural resource side for quite a while now. So that gives us a great capitals market network within Canada. Jeremy's a director. He's also on our investment committee. And then we have a strategic alliance with Ascendo Banco, which we signed last year, which gives us exclusive access to Mexican royalty and streaming opportunities. Ascendo Banco is run by Javier Reyes, who's the chairman and CEO, who's also one of the strategic advisors to Empress. So Ascendo has over 250 employees, 13 offices. They have a specific charter with the Mexican government, with Mexican banking regulations, which allows them to invest in mining companies. So they're probably the most active in the mining sector. That ranges from doing their FX, day-to-day banking, as well as providing debt facilities. So, that gives us obviously a great understanding of what's happening in Mexico and what opportunities are there. It also extends into South America. So when I combine the three partnerships, or three partners to an Empress, we're getting access to really unique opportunities in Africa, South America, and that's using our combined networks, working with management groups that are known to us in countries we've operated before. And we've demonstrated that, with Manica, that one was brought to us, one in Mozambique was brought to us by Endeavor. And then with Talaweto, that one was brought to us, obviously by Ascendo Banco. And we can talk more about that and how we work together with them on that particular transaction.
Okay, those are the moving parts. And I think it was important to do. I want to come back to David, though, on this deal with the Ascendo Bank. Okay, so I get you say the IRR is a good return for you, but people looking in and going, okay, this is for the second tranche on the Sierra
Antapite.
Yeah. Okay. Fine. So 11%. It sounds expensive, right? So why isn't it single digit? Why is it a double digit amount? I mean, on top of that, $156,000 of fees. They've got expenses on top. They picked up 6.5 million warrants. I mean, it does sound pretty toppy.
And it always will be. It's the first facility put in place. So, you've got to get a track record, like a credit rating. Everybody has to get a credit rating. You've got to build your story. Our portfolio, our story is building. Our revenue, which we'll come talk about shortly, is growing substantially. So first one always costs a little bit more. Second one, as you imagine, will be cheaper. Our revenue is growing, so we can get expansive with different types of other providers who are cheaper as well. So bear with us. You'll see improved terms in due course.
Okay, you'll get that. Which brings me on to, because obviously this deal also requires the security against, crikey, I'm going to get that, Atelier. I'm going to massacring these names.
Tareto project, yeah.
Yeah. So, which obviously, is that 100% security? Does that fall away? And when does it fall away? Because, I get that we're going to be talking in a minute about the fact that you're in revenue production now, which is all good, but if everything is secured against everything that you have, then how do you grow?
Well, this is a 2-year facility. This is just a stepping stone. So from our point of view, how we looked at it, this is just filling the investment in number 2 for Sierra Antapite, the second tranche. And obviously, as we grow and you hear with the money coming in, this will just be replaced by new facilities. So just a stepping stone to develop the business.
So are you saying that I know it's a 2-year facility, it's not a lot of time, and I know you've got revenue coming in. Are you saying, and it's only 11% on whatever you draw down as well? Well, I assume it's going to be 100% because you owe 5 million and you've got nearly 200,000 of costs. So it's 11% on that. Do you refinance that out, or do you try and do something with the revenues that are coming in? I mean, how do you play this? How do you stretch your money?
Yeah, it will be refinanced out. So this is just, as I say, a stepping stone, gets us another cash generating tranche 2, so increases our revenue substantially coming from that asset. As you hear, we've got Mozambique coming through, we've got Tareto, Altalay, as you mentioned, coming through. That is substantial increase in revenue. Brings a lot of different providers with cheaper funding into the business. So please look at the next one. And as I say, this 11% money with a return in 17% return. So I'm using someone else's money to make 6% in those broad figures. Obviously, we believe there's more upside and a better return than that because we're using conservative prices. So it may look expensive, but we're still making money on the returns.
You're building up a credit rating. Got it. Alexandra, let's go to where the revenue is coming from next, because you got some near-term revenue. And then I want to look at next year as well. So tell me a little bit about some of these deals that you've done recently.
Yeah, so we did the Talahueto silver stream for $5 million. That was the one that we did in Durango, Mexico, owned by Adelaide Mining. This one was a great example of us working with Ascendo Banco. Ascendo Banco, the company was moving the project forward. They ran into some problems during going through construction challenges. We came in as a collective group. Ascendo Banco is providing $12 million in debt. We're providing $5 million silver stream, and then Endeavor and Ascendo were involved in their $8 million equity raise. So with this turnaround, the company is back into construction. The mine is now expected to be starting production later this year, getting fully ramped up in Q1. With this one, it was 84% IRR for us. The NAV at 5% discount using $21 is $21 silver is $24.6 million US NAV. And the annual cash flow is about $3 million US coming into Empress. So we'll start seeing that coming into us and be able to report into that in Q1 next year, fully ramping up throughout the year. So that was obviously a great investment for us. We also had the Sierra Antapite project, which we just recently announced. And we've executed on the $10 million gold stream on this project. We've funded the first half, the first $5 million. And the way we structured this one is, so it's a gold stream on the project. And with the money we're giving them, it's allowing them to increase the production from 750 tons per day to 1,000 tons per day. We structured it so it's a 4.5% gold stream. And once we hit 11,000 ounces, it drops down to a 1% stream life of mine. And because we funded the first $5 million, we're now receiving revenue on the first 2.25% of gold payable. So, obviously a great one for us. The revenue starting to come into Empress, and that one will be fully ramping up over the fall and coming into Empress in a meaningful way. Q1 next year, that's about $2.2 million US in revenue every year coming in, 17% IRR, and an NAV 1750 gold, 5% discount is $14.8 million US. And I think they're both great examples of one where we're getting a mine into production with Talahueto, and with Sierra Antapite, where we're helping a mine that's a private company expand their production. And that's been our goal all along, is to create these new royalties and streams, getting mines into production or allowing companies to expand their production.
Okay, so that's the near-term revenue. In fact, have you given guidance to the market as to what the next 2-3 years looks like?
Yeah, so we're projecting based upon those assets, the one I just mentioned, Manica, the gold royalty, which we're starting to receive revenue when they get finished construction and get in production in Q4. With those ones coming online, if we did nothing else, we're projecting $6.7 million revenue next year US. The following year, over $9 million and closer to $12 million in 2025. So 2024. So we are building, the path to clear revenue coming into Empress.
Okay, and you look like you want to say something, David.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's part of our strategy really is focusing upon key assets to make a good return for investors' revenue. So it's not about numbers. We're not going to quote over 100 odd million royalties, which have got no chance of making money. This is all about revenue, getting into assets, and as we said, we're just delivering the strategy, which is near term. We've done a couple of near-term ones, which, as you can see, aren't so near-term because they're producing end of the year, beginning of next, but that's near-term in our language. And now we're investing in the producing ones to get cash in now. So just delivering the strategy, it may not be that sexy with press releases every week, but hey, it may be a bit lumpy because obviously deals take time to be done. It's a negotiation with the companies we're dealing with, but we're just delivering to produce revenue.
So it must be very frustrating for you because you look at your share price, moved sideways, since pretty much April, right? When you see companies announcing that they've got tens of exploration contracts signed up, future revenue, 10 years, 15 years away, if ever, And their share price is seeing a nice reaction to it. So maybe they've got it right and you've got it wrong.
I'll take that one. So, if you look at the basic numbers, our market cap right now is about 38 million Canadian. Our NAV of our assets we put into portfolio is closer to 60 million. So I think we're proving it out. And I think it's just going to take a bit of time. We are consistent in what we're saying we're doing. We're consistently delivering. We're not over promoting. We're telling the story of our business plan and we're executing on it. And it's a young company. We've taken it from search and exploration, 3 development stage, 1 producing asset. We have revenue coming in the company. We've only been listed for 8 months. So there's a lot more to come from us. And we're, diligent at the other projects and opportunities we're looking at now. We've got a pipeline. We're in discussions with now 13 different management groups, looking at different opportunities. And as David mentioned earlier, we're not picking up third-party royalties. We're not trading paper. We're not just reassigning an existing royalty. We're creating new ones. And that takes time. It takes time to get to the management groups well that we're working with. It takes time to get to know the projects. If things don't check out, and we don't pursue these opportunities. So we are sorting through them and pulling the best of the best to put into our portfolio while trying to keep it diversified. We've got a good balance between gold and silver right now. We've got some African assets, some South American assets. We're going to continue to keep that in mind, the investment size also being diversified. We're not just one royalty we've got in the package that's going to produce revenue and a whole bunch of other hopeful ones. We'll have consistent revenue coming from multiple investments, giving a really good diversified portfolio. So we're building it, we're delivering what we said, and I think it's just going to take time for the market to catch up.
Okay, but I haven't got lots of time. There's lots of exciting new things I want to invest in. So, and you can't be all things to all men, right? You can't be, because people get excited by different business models and strategies. You've been very clear. David's laid out precisely what you guys are going to do. What type of investor do I need to be interested in your company?
Yeah, I think there's two key drivers for us. If you just want hype, then there's plenty of people in the market for hype. If you want a growing, consistent business model, which is revenue generating, revenue will basically cover costs, fill up the cash coffers, allow us to reinvest, and obviously dividend policy. One of our strong investment theses in this company is a dividend policy. Throughout, I've been in the mining business 25 years, and sadly, a lot of companies I've seen have made money have not paid a dividend. We're not classified as a yielding asset class, and that's been the downfall in the tough times in the mining business. So part of my passion is to obviously pay a dividend, become a yielding asset class for investors. And to do that, we need to continue to build a portfolio, generate revenue, increasing our revenue, and that will allow us to obviously not just be number exploration, upside, promote style, but to become a real asset class for the investor.
So where's the ambition here? And what is the ambition here? Because, you're a 40 million market cap company. Not much has happened this year for you guys. I get that you're getting on with the business of doing business, delivering to the bottom line. But it hasn't kind of worked out the way you thought it would, has it, Alexandra?
I think it's worked out, exactly as we have. We had the plan. We brought in the assets. They're coming in to bring significant revenue into Empress next year. I think we're delivering exactly what we said we would, and I think the business plan works. I mean, we took these development stage assets, we found and sourced unique opportunities, and we're getting these mines into production with help from our financing. And we chose, I think, excellent management group to work with.
Yeah, totally agree. And the returns, you can see the returns. You don't get them buying a bit of paper from another company, because you've got to pay a premium to acquire something. Investing gets you the best returns. So, market just needs to catch up with us. And obviously sometimes talking to you, obviously, hopefully with your audience helps. And obviously the market will catch up. Just wait and see.